students, I am Ishan Trivedi. Welcome you in the video lecture series. Today I am going to discuss about two-point perspective with its example. So let us understand the question. Draw the two-point perspective for the mass composition given in the figure. Take the corner A touching to the picture plane and edge AB makes an angle of 30 degree with picture plane. Take the distance of observer 12,000 mm from the picture plane and the height of observer is 6,000 mm from ground plane or ground line. Now in this example only A point is resting on picture plane and the AB plane and the entire section is making an angle of 30 degree. So if this would be A point which is resting on picture plane and B will be at 30 degree inclination. So what about AG line? Then AG makes an angle of 60 degree as this AB and AG is perpendicular to each other. So this makes an angle of 90 degree. So here 30 degree plus 90 degree which is 120 degree. So from here, from this line, it's make an angle of 120 degree, that is AG line. In a reverse case, if I deduct from 180, so from this horizontal line, this is going to make an angle of 60 degree. So from here it is 30 degree and from this side it will be of 60 degree. So this will be clear. At the same time, the CD section also makes an angle of 30 degree. So you have to remember this CD section. If I place on picture plane the edge AB which is connected with CD section as well, and that's why it's make an angle of 30. Here the distance of observer, that is SP, is 12 meter away from the object, whereas the height of observer is taken 6 meter. Again, as we learned in previous session, the scale will remain same, that is 1 gem 100 means 1 meter is represented 100 centimeter, and ultimately in that scale what I'm going to do, that 1 gem 100 scale means in real time 1 meter is represented by 1 centimeter. In 1 point perspective, entire AB line was resting on picture plane, and what I'm getting, the entire AB is of true size and that is of 1.5 meter. But here only A point is resting on picture plane, so the height of 1.5 will be taken at A point only. So for B point I have to take the reference line from A point. So you have to note here, because in perspective drawing, in 2 point perspective particularly, we have studied it that only vertical line will remain parallel and 2 horizontal lines are merging at 2 different points, and that's why we are getting 2 vanishing points. So it will be easier to understand, only vertical component is parallel to picture plane, and that's why we get only one vertical component, and these 2 horizontal means this one and this one are merging at 2 different points and we are getting 2 vanishing points. So now let us plot this 2 point perspective in a drawing sheet. First of all, you have to plot a picture plane which is represented by a horizontal line. Now in this 2 point perspective, you have to make an angle of 30 degree. So in your drawing sheet, you have to keep open space at right hand side and lesser space at left hand side. So whenever you plot this AB point on picture plane, you have to keep larger space on right hand side of your drawing sheet and smaller space at left hand side, because at left hand side it makes an angle of 60 degree. As here the angle is 30 degree, so whenever I am plotting the parallel line which is connecting to picture plane, it requires larger space. So your right hand side has to be more. I am giving you the name and putting the elevation for your reference of height only. You don't need to write this elevation in your drawing sheet. It is just for your reference only. So you can understand the height of each and every element. Now remember, in previous session I talked about actual concept of plotting station point, T1 point and U1 point, and how we will measure and how we will plot in this drawing. What I've said earlier, at given distance mark a point, that is SP, then draw a parallel line to the face of the object. Here the parallel line means the face of the object means the AB is face of the object, and that makes an angle 30 degree to picture plane, and at the same time I am plotting parallel line of that AB line which is passing from SP and connecting to picture plane. And then I will plot perpendicular line to picture plane and mark U1 point. So this actual phenomenon now is being applied in 2-point perspective. So at 12,000 mm, I'll mark a point SP. In your sketchbook, as the scale is 1/100, you have to mark this point at 12 centimeter. Then, as I said, as AB makes an angle 30 degree to picture plane, the AB face and CD face parallel line is plot. In previous session, the SP, VP and ground line was separate. But in this session, I am putting SP or station point on ground line. Even in first example, I can do the same and my drawing is not going to change. But for your first exercise, I kept these three components, means station point, vanishing point and ground line separately. But here from station point itself, this ground line pass. Now what I said, that from face AB and CD, that parallel face, I'll draw the same parallel line which is passing from SP to PP and meeting the line at picture plane, and that point is T1 point. At the same time, AG makes an angle of 60 degree, and hence this SP to PP on left hand side is also making an angle of 60 degree. So from AG you have to do that scrolling of your roller scale and putting in a such a way that SP and picture plane line is connected. Here I am repeating again. You have to put your roller scale in such an angle. You don't have to measure from SP. You have to just put your roller scale at AG point and roll it down and fix it in a position in a such a way that it passes from SP and connect to picture plane, and you will get T2 point. This will apply in AB and CD also. Now what I said, from T1 point I will draw a perpendicular line, and this line is going to connect to ground line, and that point is U1 point. In the same manner, I'll draw a perpendicular line from T2 point and it connects the ground line at U2 point. This is the actual concept of perspective drawing. Now you have been given the flow chart of our exercise. Now understand these two terms perfectly. If I am moving towards right hand side, all the lines are merging at right hand side vanishing point. If my lines are going towards left hand side, then all the line will merge at vanishing point on left hand side. So keep these 2 points in your mind, that if I am going towards right hand side, then all the lines go towards merge at right hand side. If I am going towards left hand side, my lines are going to merge at left hand side. Just keep this part in your mind, so later you can understand easily. So now understand the procedure. A to B, I am going towards right hand side. Here I am going toward right hand side, that is our first step. Then from B to C I am going towards left hand side. Then A to G, that is our third step. I am going from A to G, that is on left hand side part. Then C to D, that is our fourth point. It is C to D, the direction is from left to right, so I am going towards right hand direction. Then D to E, that is also on left hand side part. C to F, as I have told you that B, C and F are at same line, and as BC is at left hand side, C and F is also left hand side direction. Then F to E, again it is on right hand side, and G to F. As this drawing is a little bit slant, make sure your drawing is not going away from the sketchbook. Before you mark anything, just put up points and later on draw all these lines. Otherwise, you will find that your drawing going to be outside of the sketchbook. So first of all, what you have to do is put a rectangle at 30° like A, G, F, and here at blind spot you can make a rectangle. Once you determine that everything is inside your sketchbook, then place all those detailings. Now as I'm looking towards an object, all the rays going from my eyes and meeting that each and every element or object. So from object, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do all the lines which is meeting at SP point. These things were already done in one point perspective explanation. So what I'm doing here that A line, B line, C line, D line, all these lines are connected to SP point. Then I'll highlight those part. If any line is merging, in previous case also C and G line were merging, here B and E line also merging. So by single line you can represent both the lines. If your drawing is correct, then you will face such kind of situation. Don't understand that whatever you are doing is wrong. Things would happen and accept as they come up. So as we have already done this thing, I am connecting all the lines to SP. Now I am going to draw a parallel line. This intercept which I am getting from picture plane, I am transferring to ground line and making perpendicular line. So here are the perpendicular line. As the previous, you can see here only drawn for the reference of intercept only, so I am eliminating so you can have better visualization for your drawing example. So I am eliminating those lines. Next I am drawing horizontal line from ground line at 6 meter height. So from ground line to horizontal line, the distance will be 6 meter, and this is given in your problem statement. And at this horizontal line, this merging point means horizontal line are passing through T1 U1 line and T2 U2 line, and I am getting two different VP, VP1 and VP2 respectively. So this VP is also known as VP at right hand side and VP at left hand side. If I am moving towards right hand side, I will connect right hand side VP. If I am moving towards left hand side, then I will connect left hand side VP. So AB is resting at picture plane. The height of this vertical component will remain as it is, and it is 1.5 meter. So I am measuring this from SP and draw 1.5 meter line from SP, means A1 point to A2 point. Now our first step is moving from A to B, which is moving towards right hand side, and that's why I'm going to connect VP1. So from A1 and A2, I'm going to draw merging line which is connecting towards VP1, and these lines are going to meet at B point. Here it is B1 and B2 point. You can see here these lines are passing through B line, and that's why I'm getting B1 and B2 point. It is very simple. I'm just highlighting this part. Rest of the lines are just reference lines, so you can keep these lines lighter as possible. Now I'm changing a little bit here. A is also connected with G, so instead of taking second step from B to C, I am completing the shape A to G. You can change in alternate way so that you can understand in a better way. So from A1 there is a line going to in a G direction. This is for your reference, so you can understand what is left hand and right hand side criteria. So I am putting two lines which are connecting from A point to G point. You can see here, and I am getting two different points, that is G1 and G2. I am highlighting this shape. So now you have understood that how the right hand and left hand side VP are performing in drawing. Now coming back to our second step, that is B to C. B to C is left hand side movement. So I am connecting VP2 with B1 and B2 line, and I am getting 2 points, that is C1 and C2. As I said earlier, C point is the changing of elevation of a shape. At C point, the height is 4 meter. But can I measure this height from ground line and directly put a point at 4 meter height and get the C point? No, you can't do such thing. You have to take reference from true height and find out which one is the true height element or point from where you can measure. So the nearest point is B. So the nearest point from C point is B. But that B point is also resting on picture plane? No. B point is not resting on picture plane. So from B, which one is the nearest point which is placed, which is at picture plane? Then from B, I have to come up at point A. And the A point is the only point where I can measure true height. So for getting actual C point height, I have to measure height at A only. So from A1, I will measure the height 4 meter and mark a point. Here I have marked it, that is A3 point, and from there I will put up a line which is connected to VP1. Why VP1? Because from A to B, what I am getting? A to B, the line is going towards right hand side, so I am going to connect it VP1, and this line is passes through B line and connect to the point B3. Now what is the movement from B to C? It is left hand side. So from B3 point I am going to connect VP2 because the movement is from right hand to left hand side and that movement is at this side. So I am connecting VP2 and I am getting third point, that is C3 point. Here the C3 point rests, and from this I am going to highlight the vertical path, that is from C1 to C2 and C2 to C3. As C1 to C2 is not being seen directly, so I am highlighting as a dotted line, and from C2 to C3 I can visualize, so it is straight and continuous line. Then our fourth movement is from C point to D point, and again that C1 and C3 point is going to merge at VP1, and these lines are going to meet at D line, and I'm getting 2 points, that is D1 and D2. From D, I'm getting left hand side direction E point, and I will get 2 points, that E1 and E2. Here I have not highlighted the E1 part because it is at bottom end and I am not getting the vision of that bottom end, so I am highlighting only E2 part, and I have drawn a line passing from D2 to VP2, and this line is going from E point. Here the B line and E line is a single line, and this would happen and you have to accept it. So whatever the B line, that is also E line. So I have highlighted that E2 point, and now next step is finding the F value. But B, C and F is a single line. So whatever I have drawn from B1 and C1, that also passes through F, and I am getting 2 points, that is F1 and F2 for B2 and B3 lines. And from that F, what I am getting? I am going to meet F2E, that is in right hand side direction. If your drawing is true, then this F2 and E2 are merging at E point only. And if you are correct here, you can see here, if your drawing is true, then and then you will get this line at right point. And I am going to dark this line and get proper shape. Now our last step is connecting G and F line. Again, in this case also, if my drawing is correct, these lines, you can see here, these lines are passing from F point, you can see, and you can check your drawing at here. And if I'm highlighting these things, look, and I will clear the shape. So this is what our 2-point perspective drawing. I have drawn this G2F line. I am moving towards right hand side, so I have connected this from SP, means G point, to VP 1 point, so which passes through F line, and I have just darkened the shape and completed the shape. So I'm ending this session. I hope you have learned this 2-point perspective drawing easily, and I hope you achieve correct drawing. Thanks for watching this video.